Yo, what is good y'all? In today's tutorial, I'll be breaking down these 3 trending effects step by step in After Effects. You've probably been seeing these effects everywhere for the last couple months, and you've also most likely looked for tutorials on them. So in this tutorial, I'll be breaking down all 3 of them. But without further ado, let's get right into After Effects. So I'm in After Effects and I got this BAKJ music video right here. And I'm thinking we can start off with the easiest out of the 3 effects. So we'll start off with this sped up random edit kind of effect, and we'll stylize it in this black and white look. So we can start off by creating an adjustment layer. So we can start off with a tint effect, and now that we got this black and white look, we can also add an grain effect onto the scene and change the viewing mode to final output. So now we get more of that black and white grunge style. We can turn up the intensity to like 1.4, something like this. And if you want some extra spice to it, you can add on a levels effect and keyframe it throughout the scene. Just keyframe the histogram right here and then go all the way to the end. And here at the end, we'll just drag it down to something dark like this. That will give us a cool look. Just like that. You can go even darker if you feel like it. Or if you have Sapphire, you don't need to use the levels effect. You could just go for a Sapphire Hotspot. They're pretty similar, but I feel like the Hotspot just looks a little bit better. And with the Hotspot, it will look something like this. They're pretty similar, so I'll just stick to the plugin free one. Now let's create the sped up look, which we will do by adding on a Twixtor effect. And if you don't add Twixtor, just go for the time warp effect. This one is built in After Effects. They're pretty similar, but I'll be going for Twixtor since it's a little bit smoother. First thing I'll do is go to my project settings right here, check my frame rate, and it says 23.976, so I'll just input the frame rate right here and then keyframe the speed. And I think I want to have it play like normal speed for the first couple of seconds right here, and then I'll probably add in a flash and then it will just speed up, so we can turn up the speed to like 1.2k and see what we get. So this is what it looks like right now. And I think I actually want to remove the black and white for the first scene right here and just have it for the sped up part, just like that. And now let's add on some motion blur to make it extra smooth. So you just drag up the motion sensitivity to 100, and let's drag up the motion blur compensation to like 2. And this gives us a really intense motion blur, so we can turn it down to like 1. Now that's a little bit more calm and usable. So let's play it through and see what we get. And it looks like this right now, which is way too much. So I'll actually lower it down and turn the motion blur compensation to like 0.5. Now it looks like this, which looks a little bit better, but we can go even lower to like 0.3 or 0.4, something like this. And I also want to turn up the Twixtor to like 1600, something like this, so it's even faster now, just like that. See, that's a really smooth effect. And if you have RSMB, I recommend that you add it on, and you can actually lower the motion blur compensation if you add on an RSMB to something like this. Turn up the motion sensitivity, and now so you can see we get some smooth looks. That looks insanely smooth actually. And I just want to turn down the levels effect a little bit, so it's not as dark here at the end, because you don't want to overdo it with these type of effects. You want it to be as smooth as possible, which it really is right now, so I can't complain. And let's create a new adjustment layer and just add in a subtle flash right here, just a flash hit before the sped up part. So let's add on an exposure effect, keyframe the exposure, go like 2 frames in, turn it up, and then go 2 frames back, just turn it down. And let's see, I can turn it up even more to something like that, and I'll drag it out like this. I just decided to create a couple flashes, like first one right here, a little more subtle, up to like 2, and then it goes back down, and then it comes in like really heavy right here before the sped up part. So now it looks like this, which is the final version, and I'm really happy with that. So that's the first effect. If you want to save it as a preset, just select the adjustment layer, of course, and select all of your effects. And if you want to make sure to grab the keyframes as well, just press U on your keyboard, hold shift and press, and just select your keyframes. And now you've selected everything. Go to animation, save animation preset, and put it where you want it. So that's it for the first effect. Let's jump right into the next one. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that this effect is actually included in my Ultimate VFX kit, which I'll have linked in the description, because I actually run the Stay Creative store where we got presets, assets, overlays, you know, all of that stuff that you need to elevate your visuals. But you already know where to find the link to it, so let's keep on going. Next effect I'll break down is this vertical shake. And vertical shakes has been going crazy recently. I see them basically everywhere in every music video. So to create a vertical shake, let's start off by adding on a Sapphire shake, and we can turn up the amplitude to 1.5, keep the frequency at 8. That's usually good. And make sure to turn on motion blur, keyframe the amplitude, and then head right down to X shake. And here for the X shake, I'll turn down the random amplitude to 90, which gives us much less of an X shake. And then just head down to Y shake, and this is what we want to turn up, the random amplitude for the Y shake. So turn it up to like 400, and you'll have a really heavy vertical shake, of course. And then the random frequency up to 1.5, and I'll change the wave amplitude to 6 and the Y wave frequency to 0.775, like that. And then all you got to do is keyframe the amplitude, of course. I'll go in like 1 second in right here and turn it down to 0. And we'll mess with the graph editor in a minute, but right now it looks like this. And you can see that it's a vertical shake. We'll make it a little bit smoother in a minute. And next effect I'll add on is a sapphire blur motion curves. Just drag it onto your clip. You could just use a transform effect if you feel like it. I just like this one because it's a lot smoother. I'll turn down this Z distance to 0.5 and go all the way back here once again, turn it up to 1. So I'll have a zoom with the vertical shake, and it looks like this right now. Like I said, we'll use the graph editor in a minute. Next effect I'll add on is a minimax effect, and I'll turn it up to like 80, something like this, and change the direction to just vertical, since we're working on a vertical shake, and this will basically give us this look. But we'll keyframe it from 80, go down here and turn it down to 0. And now we can start messing with the graph editor, because we're pretty much done with the main effects. And I'll ease all of my keyframes, and I'll use the flow plugin to do this. So with this plugin, I just select all of my keyframes, and I want something like this maybe, and press apply. And just like you see, it's a pretty smooth shake. If you want something a little faster, just drag it up like that, apply, and then overwrite. So now I got something like this. And let's spice it up a little bit more with a sapphire flicker, and I'll turn up the amplitude to 0.4, keyframe it, go in here once again, turn it down to 0, and then I'll also add in an exposure right here at the beginning, just so we can flash the viewers a little bit. Pause, and let's keyframe it from 3. No, that's too much. Let's do 2, go in like 2-3 frames. 2 frames should be good. Turn it down to 0, and then go in 2 frames once again. You can flash them once again, and then go back, and we can turn it down to 0. So we'll flash the kids a little bit right here. Okay, I'm done now. So it looks like this. Really solid effect. I'm happy with that one. And if you want something to spice it up even more, I would recommend a pixel sorter from Sapphire. And I'll put it under the exposure and the flicker actually. And I'll change the sort angle to 90. So we'll have a vertical pixel sorter, but it won't be too visible in a minute. Just give me a second. I'll put it on top of the minimax as well. Turn up the threshold to like 0.35, just like that. And keyframe the threshold. Go back here, turn it up to 1. And that is basically it. I just gotta mess with the graph editor, so ease my keyframes. And I'll create something like this, just like I did for the other ones. Now you decide if you want this effect. It just depends on what you prefer. I see that it messes up with the lamp a little bit. I'm not sure how to feel about that. I can just make it a little bit shorter, drag it down to all the way here. And let's turn on motion blur and let's see what we got. Yeah, I think I'll just skip the pixel sorter for this scene. It doesn't look good, so I'll just delete that one. But it's an option for you guys in your other scenes if you feel like you want it. So this is the final product, and it looks insane actually. So what I'll do is select all my keyframes and head up to animation, save animation preset. And why I'm actually doing this video is because I'm working on new updates for all of my packs. So I'll actually just paste this preset in my ultimate shake pack, and I'll just name it like smoothest vertical shake, just like that, because in my opinion it was really smooth. So I'm actually dropping hella sauce in this video. But that's it for this effect. Make sure to like the video if you haven't already, and let's jump right into the next one. Alright, whoa, okay, we're on the final effect right now, and this is the scene that I got. Once again, the same music video like last time, and it's a really smooth clip. So what I'll start off by doing is creating an adjustment layer like usual. And first effect I'll add on is a Sapphire Hotspot. And for you guys who don't have Sapphire Hotspot, I'll show you guys another free effect to use in a second. But let's start off by dragging down the threshold to 0, keyframe the threshold, go into Let's go all the way to the end actually and just turn it up. I'll have something like this, and then I'll add on a levels effect, which is basically pretty similar, and this is the effect that you can use instead of Hotspot, but I'll keep this really subtle because I don't want too much. So I'll keyframe it, go halfway in, like right here. Then I'll create something dark that looks something like this. So just like that, and then at the end I'll actually make it normal. So just reset it. So we'll just have that in the middle of the scene, and easy is the keyframes. Next up, we can add on a deep glow, and just like all of the other effects, we'll keyframe this one from 0 and keyframe the exposure, go all the way to the end, and we can turn it up to something like this. And let's drag up the threshold a little bit to something like this, just so the brighter parts can glow like fucking hell. I'm alright, don't worry. Alright, and we'll make his jacket and his chain glow just like that, mainly the brighter parts. And this will be a lot more visible when we add the next effect on, which is a sapphire flicker. Oh yeah, you don't need the deep glow if you don't have it. I forgot to mention. Just use whatever glow you have or whatever glow you prefer. And for the sapphire flicker, turn it down to 0, go to the end, and you can keep it really subtle, like 0.3. And now we got this going on, which is a really sick effect in my opinion. And basically the final main effect that I'll add on is a minimax once again, but we'll use a different one this time. So just drag it onto the adjustment layer and head right up here to the end and just bump up the minimax by just dragging it up to something like this. And we can change the channel to just vertical, no, the direction, of course. I'm a little bit slow today. So you'll have something like this for the last frame, and keyframe the radius, go in like right around here and turn it down to 0. So we'll have it just for the end right there. And we'll actually work with the graph editor for that effect a little bit. So easy ease those keyframes. Head up to the graph editor. This one looks sick, and we'll have something like this. Just go crazy, flash all the viewers here at the end. Yeah, just like that. They're gonna love that flash. And this is what we got right now. And it looks sick. I actually want to make it a little bit darker right here with the hotspot. Just turn it down to something like that. And you can turn on motion blur if you feel like it. And I'll add on a new adjustment layer now. And this time I actually want to add in like a crazy wiggle for the start. So we can go, I'll just search up wiggle, and I got a bunch of wiggles in my packs. The distort wiggle is a crazy one in my ultimate VFX kit. It's a little bit flashy, as you can see, it's really bright. This is what the final effect looks like with the wiggle, of course. And this one is crazy. You don't need to go for a wiggle as heavy as this one. You could go for something a little bit like calmer if you feel like it, but this is my effect and I don't feel like changing the wiggle at this point. I feel like it looks good. But that's basically it for this tutorial. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And as always, my packs are linked in the description, so if you want to speed up your workflow and also get some crazy presets that'll help you elevate your visuals, then make sure to check the first link in the description. But thank you so much for watching. Oh yeah, I almost forgot, I haven't mentioned it on this channel yet, but I actually dropped a Patreon where I'll have more in-depth tutorials, like up to 1 hour long tutorials that I'll drop weekly, maybe even twice a week. And you'll also get all of my project files for these YouTube tutorials. So the Patreon niggas will get this project file for 37 bucks a month, as well as a free preset pack when you join, which is a crazy deal in my opinion. If that's something you'll be looking for, check the link in the description. But thank you so much for watching. Oh wait, before we go,